I used to be afraid of you, but I don't think I am anymore.
There's nothing to fear except God.
For me, God is a disease.
It's the things that make you look at what you thought you saw in a different light. The hole in the Pentagon being too small for a plane. The lawn isn't mussed up. The government's not showing the plane hitting when many cameras photographed it.
There's nothing to fear except God. God. God.
Oh, if you already know the answers to your questions, then why ask?
It's too big.
Back and to the left, 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 back and to the left.
What's up, everyone? I am here with Austin Healy Bozer, otherwise known as Bare Minimum Bozer. No, that's my new Trumpian nickname for you. I'm just kidding. Anyway, this is Have a God's Face podcast. I have never said anything wrong about anyone. I've never hurt anyone's feelings or overstepped the line. And we're here to do our essentially best at 2025 episode. We had talked about this for a while, just because it's kind of obvious in film. People kind of do lists and stuff. And an episode we were always going to do is what are the best films of 2025. And before we get into that, we wanted to talk about the Oscar nominations, which just released. We were potentially going to do like a Golden Globe reaction as well, but it's like, who really cares about the Golden Globes that much? But it still is worth noting that Paul Thomas Anderson won 3 Golden Globes, had never won a Golden Globe before until the year 2026, which, I mean,
What'd you think of when I think it was Judd Apatow was like, oh, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Paul Thomas Anderson.
yeah.
Did you see Jafar Panahi's reaction?
Yeah, you sent me a clip of Panahi like angry because he was nominated for Best Director, I think.
Yeah, and like most of the people nominated had like a foreign name, and he's like, I don't know how to say this.
Oh my god. I did kind of like that. Now that you bring up that people were actually upset about that does really, I do like that.
I think he was genuinely just like, yeah.
I don't think he thought of it like that. Yeah,
I don't think
I
it
don't
was
think
malicious.
In real time, I was like, okay, PTA is like, this is the ultimate year where it's like, really, like, are we really gonna snub them this time? Really? I have people like texting me, and I see I see people like making their bold prediction. People will just text, like my dad messaged me, and then Jack texted me being like, "Yeah, they're gonna snub one battle after another again this year." It's like, guys, I mean, this is not our prediction episode, but I've been a diehard Paul Thomas Anderson fan for a long time, and it's over. We've made it. We're gonna do it. It's over. I get it. People there are, again, some people that don't really know what they're talking about. They saw all the performative amount of Oscar nominations that Sinners got. It's like Sinners is not going to win anything. Isn't it going to lose every award? Like what awards is Sinners going to win? Like I mean,
I don't know. We got to see it play out.
It's literally like, I mean, when I think of Sinners, I'm like, oh yeah, I thought Haley Steinfeld was like the best performance in Sinners. He didn't get close to getting nominated, and Michael B. Jordan is like, I mean,
everyone got nominated except Haley, basically.
Yeah, and then a lot of the other cast members are really good too. Like the guy playing guitar, I don't think he got nominated, did he?
No.
I think it was the older guy that got nominated, like the drunk. And he's like an iconic actor, Delroy Lindo.
Yeah.
He's been in a ton of stuff, so that's kind of cool. I don't I don't hate that at all. He was good in the movie, but I thought the guitar playing guy was like one of the best performances too. And I think Michael B. Jordan is just not a good actor. He does not deserve to get nominated.
Let's
I mean,
go.
of all
Let's
the
go.
acting nominations, I think Jesse Plemons is definitely a pretty big snub,
That sucked.
especially because Emma Stone is like now a complete icon and she just gets an Oscar nomination every year.
Yeah,
And Jesse
she's like the
Plemons is
Meryl
like,
Streep kind of.
yeah, it's crazy how far we've come. And the other thing that's really interesting about that is that that would be impossible in another era. Like there was a long time where comedies didn't get any recognition,
Yeah.
and she had to be basically in one of like the most legendary musicals of the 21st century, and then she had to pair up with Yorgos, and just being like an incredibly bizarre film. I still can't even believe she won that. I thought the Killers of the Flower Moon actress was going to win that year, but I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I think Jesse Plemons is one of the greatest actors in the world, and I had kind of mixed thoughts on Begonia. I really liked it. It didn't make my like list, but I thought Jesse Plemons is kind of undeniably incredible in the film.
Yeah. I thought Ethan Hawke was gonna slide in there.
I've been hearing that too. Dude, there's this other thing with movies recently with streaming. A movie will be on streaming and you have to rent it for like $20.
Ew. That's
So
ew.
I adore Richard Linklater. I will literally battle to the death
Ah,
over Richard Linklater being one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, of his generation, of the last 30 years, but of all time. He's one of the all time greats. And people just have this weird thing with Richard Linklater where they always doubt him. There are certain filmmakers, there's a lot of this in
yeah.
sports. There are people like this past weekend, everyone was doubting Justin Gaethje in the UFC. And I was just like, guys, he's gonna win. Like I was like really talking a lot of shit because I'm like, okay, he's fighting an Englishman. What are we doing here? No, but that's a whole other conversation. But no, you get the point I'm making where it's like, Nouvelle Vague, or however you say the term. I watched that on Netflix and I had heard mixed things about it. I'd seen people say that it was terrible. I'd heard critics say it was terrible. And I watched it. It's amazing. Like, I don't know what to say. It's
Yeah.
just vintage Richard Linklater. Every other Richard Linklater movie, people say sucks, and then every time I watch the movie, it's amazing. It's like borderline a masterpiece. Like he's never missed, never, and he's had an entire career full of just like trying every genre and like completely like he's like the Howard Hawks of the 21st century, and
Mm.
the people, I mean, again, you would have to see Nouvelle Vague, but it's in French, and it's just this like classic Linklater invisible style kind of movie where it's just incredibly charming, it's incredibly funny and like light. It just feels incredibly light, but then it's like shockingly sophisticated. The way that it's full of references, which is kind of an homage to Godard, but it's like a documentary in a way because you're seeing him make
Mm.
Breathless. You're seeing Jean-Luc Godard make Breathless, and it's like incredible the way that he captured so accurately. I mean, again, who knows? Maybe people will debate me on the historical accuracy of the movie, but it felt so real, like the way he would give direction, the way that Godard is just constantly saying kind of like ambiguous quotes. So the movie is like about a guy that says ambiguous quotes, and the movie is constantly showing iconic filmmakers and actors like in the orbit of Godard. And for people that love film, it's amazing. I feel like someone who doesn't know the references, I still think it's really good. But I think people that really are into film, it's like a treat. So the point I'm making is I would love to watch Blue Moon. I have a feeling it's absolutely incredible. And I'm
Mm.
sure Ethan Hawke is great in it because he's a very talented actor. But I think Jesse Plemons over Michael B. Jordan. And we'll go into all of this. We don't have to take too much time on these supporting or on going through every single nomination because we're going to do this for the prediction show.
Right.
But yeah, I'm hoping Wagner Moura wins for actor. Oh my God. I heard Frankenstein is terrible.
My fiance
And then
didn't like
somehow,
it.
oh my
I,
God,
I
bro.
haven't seen it, but
Jacob Elordi, another person that has almost no talent whatsoever. Holy shit. Oh my god. Okay, I'll just move on. Actress in a leading role. Yeah, Kate Hudson got an Oscar nomination.
You think that's lame that she got over Chase Infinity?
Oh, well, I feel like of the performances in One Battle, that was the one that I thought had no chance of getting a nomination just because
Yeah.
it's a, her role is not. I mean, she's so cornered by like icons delivering like career best perform. I mean, people are talking about Benicio like that's like one of people's favorite
Right.
Benicio del Toro performances, and I was floored by Sean Penn. And there might be some voter fatigue, which I think is fine because Stellan Skarsgård is like one of the greatest actors of his generation. You know, working with Lars von Trier, all the great Lars von Trier roles he had, and then Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, he was unbelievable in. And I wouldn't mind seeing Stellan Skarsgård win; would really be
Right.
amazing. But I'm kind of surprised that Jessie Buckley is running away with it. I think she's
Yeah.
it's hard not to love her. She's like very easy to love, but she's got to close her mouth. That's what I think. She did this in the Alex Garland movie that was trash. She like when she's like okay, she's really good in Hamnet. Don't get me wrong, but there's just times where I'm like, I just want her to close like like it's a little bit too frequently that she has the exact same expression on her face. It's a great performance, and you know the movie is great. I think Renate Reinsve, or however you say her name, is way better in
Mm.
sentimental value than Jessie Buckley. I mean, by a wide margin. And then if I had legs, I'd kick you. That seemed like Rose Byrne was going to get nominated. That's not really that surprising. I'm really happy that because the SAG just like completely ignored
Yeah.
sentimental value. That doesn't even make sense.
Right. Well, that's how like Chase got in at SAG, and I think she got like in everywhere except the Oscar.
Yeah, she's still young, but I don't know. It's hard when you're playing like a little girl to like get an Oscar nomination, I feel like, or to be a
Yeah.
child actor. And I feel like a lot of the times child acting is like kind of fake because it's like I don't know, you can be good at acting, but there's something pathological and like kind of you have to be pretty overly conscious to even act in itself. So children are kind of just they just exist as themselves.
Right.
And that's one dimension of it that it's like hard to have like a little kid in a movie and be like, wow, what a moving performance. Cause you kind of just look at them as a kid. Maybe that's unfair. Maybe there are child performances that are good that I'm like blanking on. But it's kind of in that realm with One Battle After Another. It's like, is it really like is her performance really that amazing, especially compared to the rest of the cast? It's not bad. I obviously like her a lot, but I mean to be an Oscar nominated actress, especially for lead actress, it's like okay. There are people that have been there are women that have been around a while that would kill to be like we were talking about with Demi Moore last year, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, she had an entire career of mediocrity until that moment. She had her whole career and then she came up short. It's like that's amazing. But
You gotta
I,
twerk.
I'm
You gotta twerk to
I'm
get
re-
the Oscar, man.
I'm really happy that the first Elle Fanning nomination
Yeah,
also
that
kind of
snuck in. That seemed
bizarre.
to like sneak in there. Everyone thought that was getting pushed out.
And then Inga, the other chick from Sentimental Value, was great. And
Yeah.
yeah, it seems like Tiana Taylor is really in a good position to win,
Yeah, dude. I
which
don't.
would be awesome. I love her. I've been a fan of her music before, like
Mm,
years ago. Do you remember when Kanye produced all those albums in 2018, like over the summer?
vaguely.
He did the Kid Cudi project, and then he did Nas, and then
Okay.
he did a bunch, and they were all like 20-minute EPs type thing. And he did a Tiana Taylor album, and I had known her from she danced in the Fade music video for Kanye, which was super iconic. And
Mm,
apparently she just totally improvised that. like this video that like went super viral, and Mon Shumpert is in it. She was married to Mon Shumpert.
That's how I knew her.
Yeah. And so he pulls up in the video too. It's kind of random. But when I figured out she made music, I listened to it. KTSE is like Keep That Same Energy, I think is what it stands for.
Mm.
Incredible album. Incredible. Like if you throw that shit on, woo, that is she is a really talented musician. Like people,
No
I
shit.
mean, I think I've heard is that I think the gays love her. And doesn't mean I'm gay, but I'm just saying that that's the kind of the vibe as far as like at the time. But I remember when I was living with Anj, we were just flipping out over all those Kanye produced albums. And I love that was one of my favorites, you know, that he did. And then it was Kanye, he did his own album that year too. But if she wins an Oscar, I mean, she's like one of the most talented people on the earth, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she deserves it, to be honest. I mean, it's a great performance. I have zero issue with her winning. It sounds like this woman from Weapons, everyone like loved as well.
You see
So
Weapons?
no, I haven't seen it.
It was kind of weird because like I liked it. It was pretty good. It was by you ever see like the show on YouTube, I think, or I think it was IFC called The Whitest Kids You Know.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, the one of the guys is the director. So he's been doing kind of like
Wait, what?
writing and yeah, he's Zach Krager. He's been writing and directing his own horror movies. He did Barbarian a few years ago.
Wait, is that the group where the guy, like one of the main guys in the group, like died?
Yeah, Trevor Moore. He got drunk and fell off his roof, I think. Don't quote me
Okay,
on
I
that, but
mean, he might have been murdered.
yeah, I don't know. He went on Rogan, so there might be some correlation there. Um,
Oh my god, I gotta pull that up. I didn't even know that he went on.
I was saying basically like she's it's kind of got a lot of steam because she won Critics' Choice.
Oh, okay. Well, everyone was talking about her performance all year.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's like
It's like
it's like in memes and stuff.
oh yeah,
And people talked about Weapons like it was like the best horror movie of the year, but I haven't seen it.
it's I don't know, it's good. I wouldn't freaking uh
Mhm.
I wouldn't throw it in. I don't know.
Okay, so I think the other thing, this is a good. I'm actually staring at it on my screen. It's kind of funny. My TV just literally has a thing that says Oscar nominations. It just has a bunch of movies like on my screen right now randomly. And one of them, this is a really good segue into something that I think this just broke, or this is like a rumor that's going around. So first of all, one of the letdowns of 2025 is I feel like is the Smashing Machine, because
Oh,
when we were first hearing about it, everyone was kind of struck by Dwayne the Rock Johnson's physical transformation with like the makeup and stuff.
sure.
And it seemed very likely he was working with a Softy brother that he was going to get like an Oscar nomination, and nobody liked the movie. So his his Oscar, but he was great in it, you know, in all honesty. I mean, I would not nearly go as far to say he was snubbed, but it's kind of crazy that the movie lost some momentum. But did you hear about this? There's now a controversy breaking about the Softy brothers.
No, do tell.
So apparently, I don't know how confirmed this is, so we'll just say it anyway on the podcast. Um, there was like a kind of a fucked up like sex scene that they were shooting for Good Time, and or maybe I'm pretty sure it was Good Time, but then they like ended up making Uncut Gems together anyway. But that this kind of played out over years, that there was like there was a guy in Good Time that like he was like literally like a criminal, and he ended up dying of a heroin overdose like years later.
Uh,
Apparently, they had a woman who was 17 in like a sex scene with this like criminal guy, and he was like fully naked, like, oh, let's do it for real.
whoa.
And she was like 17, and Josh Softy and Benny were like fighting over it over like years, because it was like a dark, like, I don't think like any kind of assault actually happened, but apparently this like criminal, no, it's kind of a crazy story. I read this, I was like, damn, this might actually like really fuck with Marty Supreme's like Oscar conversation, or there might be like crazy jokes about Josh Safdie because he's worked with criminals. He works with criminals. I mean, heaven knows what is like all these like heroin addicts playing themselves,
Yeah.
Like to his credit, he works with really kind of
What the
dangerous
fuck?
non-actors, but that's like a crazy story as far as like, you know, almost like an underage like thing happened. And again, it's like at best this like woman like felt uncomfortable and like here's this guy just completely naked and like still shot like a scene. I don't think they did like they didn't actually have sex as far as I read in the
Right.
article, but I don't know. I don't maybe I'm speaking too fresh on this and this story is going to get crazier, but that's what I heard. That's what I now hear is the rumor on why
It's on
Josh
their
Safdie.
Wikipedia page, so that's kind of weird.
That's what I heard is why Josh Safdie and Benny broke up as a directing team, which
Whoa.
pretty crazy news to drop as we're doing the Oscar episode. But yeah, I don't know. We can we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, no shit. Oh,
I like that they have this best casting category now.
oh yeah, dude. And then next year they're adding stunts.
That's pretty cool. See, I don't mind adding award nominations. I think that's one of the reasons that Sinners ended up getting so many is like these are like completely new. I mean, casting. I mean, One
Well,
Battle After Another is incredible cast, but Marty Supreme, like we were saying, I almost feel like that deserves best cast because the cast is so
yeah.
eclectic. Um, but yeah, not really too many other surprises as far as I mean, I guess Joachim Trier getting a directing nomination was surprising to me. I was not expecting that.
Mhm.
But yeah, Chloe Zhao makes perfect sense. Ryan Coogler, those are the two kind of like, insert offensive comment. No. Uh
Oh god.
Chloe Zhao, I've never seen any of her movies. Hamnet is very good. I respect it a lot. The acting is really good, and I think the movie is really solid and moving. I never saw Nomadland, but she made like a superhero movie, so you know, pretty hard to come back from that. And then same thing
Yeah.
with Ryan Coogler. If you make a superhero movie, odds are you're probably not that good at making films. I'm sorry. If you do it one time, it's probably over for you. And I didn't even dislike Sinners. I thought I was kind of like in between on Sinners, but 16 nominations is
Yeah.
outrageous. That's like,
My buddy, whose name I won't mention, Colt Smith, gave Sinners half a star on Letterboxd.
well, that's a little
So I
low.
went in like thinking Sinners was going to be the worst film of the year, and then it wasn't, and I was like, oh, that wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's especially if you see it in the theater, it's really enjoyable. No, because it's getting every single nomination for like makeup and hairstyling and like, it's just like a period piece. So it's getting every
Right.
single. Have you heard anything about the best score race? Does Johnny Greenwood have a chance to finally not get completely shafted? Or are they gonna shaft him again?
Uh, I don't know. From my understanding, it's probably going to go to like fucking Sinners, right?
Oh my god. I am gonna okay, that would suck. That would be so irritating that they finally give Johnny Greenwood an Oscar nomination after some of the greatest scores ever that they didn't give nominations to, and then they disqualified There'll Be Blood in that weird way back in the day.
Yeah, because that probably would have taken it back then.
Probably.
I mean, what one was it? What won that year?
It's There'll Be Blood. I don't even care what was the other score for 2007. I mean, it's insane. It's like dun 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 dun. I
The
mean, I
fucking
literally can't even like I don't have scores memorized in my head, and I can just like remember There Will Be Blood, and it's Johnny Greenwood.
yeah, I went
It's
to
like the most
Atonement.
talented. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Ratatouille got nominated. If that makes you happy as well.
Oh my god. No, and then I was gonna say, I mean, one of the only things that Sinners is nominated for that I would be like, oh, okay. if it won, I would be like, okay, that makes sense. Is best song, because I don't even remember which song this was. It's the song "I Lied to You." There were
Right.
some really cool songs in the movie that seemed
Oh,
like
for
original
sure.
songs, and it looks like K-pop Demon Hunters is just gonna completely skull fuck Sinners into into nothingness.
You ever see that South Park episode with the woodland critters when they're like they're having quote unquote blood orgies?
Oh my god,
That's
yeah,
how
I
I
kind of do remember
visualize
that.
K-pop Demon Hunters winning the award
Oh
season.
my god. I've heard it. People are saying it's good, but it's like the kind of the classic animated film that I just don't see, that like completely dominates every single award. And for whatever reason, animated films win original song all the time.
Yeah, they've been on a good track though with the animated features. I feel like last few years though.
Yeah, I honestly am blanking. I don't remember off the top of my head what is one for that category.
I know Boy and the Heron upset it, and then Flo beat Wild Robot last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I'll see K-pop Demon Hunters to prepare for our prediction show just for fun. But yeah, I don't know if I mean, all I'd
Uh,
say is just like about like the nominations, because we're gonna go way more in
right.
depth on it.
I never saw
Like,
F1, but people are apparently upset that got in Best Picture.
yeah, people think that movie sucked,
But I feel
but
like
it's
there's
like,
always some movie like that that just gets in there for no reason.
well, it's like I've heard it described as like Top Gun Maverick type of thing, where people really loved seeing it in the theater this year and it actually
Hmm.
made a ton of money. And if you're like seeing like a popcorn blockbuster, it like was really solid for that. But then people thought it was not good, even though it was kind of enjoyable in that way. But yeah, I scrolled all the way to the bottom. As far as looking at oh my god, Frankenstein got an adapted script. Dude, I heard Frankenstein was terrible. Okay, Guillermo del Toro. I never saw The Shape of Water, but some of this has to stop at a certain point. Like some of these directors, Chloe Zhao, Ryan Coogler, Guillermo del Toro, really, really, this is like they are the best in the world by far, to the degree that I don't know anyone that I maybe heard one person who've seen Frankenstein, and all I heard about it was that it was terrible. And it's just Guillermo del Toro, a famous director that has won in the past, gets an Oscar nomination. Really? He reads the novel Frankenstein, and this guy just musters up like the best script anybody's ever read about the Jacob Elordi Frankenstein movie. That, I mean, who saw that?
Right.
I literally don't even know. Like, it's like so performative. It's so just like this is what we're supposed to do. I mean, okay, that one I'm offended by. Jacob Elordi, guarantee sucks in the movie, but screenplay,
Script?
Guillermo del Toro gets a screenplay nomination for a like a something that has been in the consciousness for an infinite like time. You know, like, okay, in the history of movies, you could make an adaptation of Frankenstein every year of the history of film, and we're getting we're getting Frankenstein nominated for adapted script in the year of our Lord 2026. Like, okay, uh, I kind of like the Begonia script. That's kind of cool that Begonia got a screenplay nominated. Train
Right.
Dreams is also interesting because Dennis Johnson is like one of the great American novelists of the last 30 years. And I
Mm.
actually have not read Train Dreams, but I watched the movie on Netflix, and it's really good. I liked it a lot, as far as like it felt very much like Dennis Johnson, like his voice. So that was cool. Um, and then one battle after another. I mean, I'm gonna absolutely riot if PTA deserves easily adapted screenplay, directing, and picture. If there's some fucked up world where one battle doesn't win Best Picture, if PTA wins an Oscar or two, I actually don't care that much if it gets snubbed at picture.
Oh,
But it
there's like a
seems like
split.
it's going to completely dominate though, so I'm not too worried. And yeah, original screenplay. Kind of weird that Linklater is not on the script for Blue Moon. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, Blue Moon got an original script nomination.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of would like to see. I wouldn't mind if Josh Safdie won for Marty Supreme. That was a pretty tremendous like script,
Mm.
all things considered. As far as like the originality of like the story and stuff, that would be like the most imaginative pick. Or seeing Jafar Panahi win, just because it seems like The Secret Agent's going to win Best Foreign Film.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are pissed about it was just an accident. People think it should have gotten picture and director.
Yeah, some of that is political for sure. It's I mean, if you saw it, I think you would definitely love it. It's a tremendous film. It is amazingly well made. The directing is incredible. Give credit to Panahi. I've never been like a diehard Panahi guy. I've only seen like two or three of his films. This is probably either the second or the third of his films I've seen. But
Mm.
this film especially, when I saw it, I'm like, okay, that makes sense that won the Palme d'Or. It's pretty incredible. Like it's like really entertaining, but also clearly like a cutting political thriller of sorts. But it's like a
Right.
completely unexpected satirical political thriller. So all the acting is like unbelievable. The acting is unbelievable. Honestly, I take back what I said. Marty Supreme would be. I don't really mind original script as long as it's not Sinners. If Sinners wins original script, I will be very annoyed because I
You
mean, it
gotta
was
get
just an
hammered before
accident.
the ceremony, bro. Just
Oh my!
fucking hammered.
I don't want to jinx anything. We'll do the prediction show in like a month
Yeah.
or something. But I don't know if off the top of your head if there's any other like snubs or anything because we
Uh,
didn't really.
I don't think it was snubs, but I'm really happy that Wicked for Good just got pushed into fucking purgatory. I have no problem with that at all.
Oh hell
And
yeah!
also, the people thought Avatar was gonna sneak its way into picture. I'm completely okay with that getting pushed out. Uh,
Yeah, that kind of would have been random. I don't know how much steam there. I mean, I think it made a lot of money, but I don't think there was much steam for this Avatar as there have been. Like even the second one, I thought had a little bit more of like
right.
a feeling to it. I don't really know anyone that saw the new Avatar. I really want. I'm gonna try and see it still, just because I like seeing stuff in 3D. But
The other thing is the supporting roles are going to get really interesting down the race because Skarsgård and Tiana Taylor are the favorites right now, and they should be. But Skarsgård isn't even nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award, so
yeah. Well,
that's going to get interesting.
I definitely, for the record, I definitely think Sean Penn. That's like one of the greatest performances of all time. I think he's levels above what Stellan Skarsgård does in
Yeah,
sentimental value. But in terms of voter fatigue, I have zero problem with giving Skarsgård his first Oscar.
yeah,
He's just such a great actor, and he's amazing. He's clearly the number two, but there's no world where objective reality considered that Sean Penn is. I mean, Sean Penn. That's like the craziest performance of his career. And I think in another situation, if he hadn't already won two, because three, this
yeah.
would be his third. That would be, which I think he
Crazy.
deserves it. I mean, it's Sean Penn. He's a pretty unbelievable actor. But
Interesting
anyway,
though. Like Benicio's won more like smaller supporting award shows than he has, but I don't know what's going to happen with that. I think that's going to be one of the coolest races.
yeah, I wonder honestly. I mean, we only
If if
got the
if
SAG
Delroy
left to give
Lindo
us an
wins,
indicator.
watch the fuck out. I'll say that.
If what?
If Delroy, they're like Delroy Lindo for best supporting act, like because I'm pretty sure the supporting roles get called like immediately
Oh
in the
yeah,
ceremony. If that
and he's
happens, then
another.
just get a freaking umbrella, bro, because it's gonna pour ass.
Yeah, I wonder honestly because I kind of think that I don't know, the SAG kind of made themselves irrelevant by giving nothing to sentimental value.
Yeah,
Just because the acting is so like the acting is so good in that movie. The idea of the Screen Actors Guild, I mean, it's just like what? Like if you're just talking about of the movies that were made in 2025 that not only had good acting, but they were movies like made for showing great acting. Like that's
yeah.
like literally the movie. It's like that Hamnet. Like those two movies are definitely kind of actors films. And for that to not get Screen Actors Guild is like, what? Like that just doesn't even compute to me, like, whatsoever. But I don't know. I wonder how many awards it's going to get. I wouldn't be surprised if Joachim Trier wins. I think original script sounds kind of wide open, to be honest. Something tells me Coogler is going to win, though, just because it got so many Oscar nominations that they're going to want to just like performatively give Ryan Coogler an award. But I don't know. I don't know if I buy Sinners winning almost anything. It might win like sound or something, but hopefully I think One Battle will win like the really big awards. But that's the other thing about One Battle After Another is it's like if Tiana Taylor didn't win and Sean Penn didn't win, if that movie didn't win an acting award, that would be crazy.
And then
It's like
it just wins like the top 3, like the screen for PTA. That would just be like, what? I don't think that's
that
ever
would be so
happened ever.
stupid because the acting is unbelievable in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, in terms of
But
the movies themselves, I think One Battle
yeah,
is definitely. What I'll say is, if Renate Reinsve was in a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, she would be even better. If Stellan Skarsgård was in a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, he would be even better. Okay, Joachim Trier, I did not like The Worst Person in the World very much, but the reason it was watchable was because of Renate Reinsve. She's like one of the most incredible actresses on the earth. I mean, she's way better than Jessie Buckley. I mean, she's way better. And I don't know. I kind of thought that she was going to have like a Best Actress push, but it really just seems like Jessie Buckley like ran away with it already. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we don't want to spend too much time on the nominations just because we're gonna
yeah,
go through every single nomination and make predictions in like a month from now. So um yeah, do you want to just talk about like what we actually think are like the best films of 2025? Because honestly, the Oscars, there's something to be said about in recent years. I think they are getting a little bit better. Where first of all, I don't think the best pictures have been god awful. Like I wasn't obsessed with Oppenheimer, but to me that's like a reasonable best picture, you know. But then it's like there were years when they were doing like Green Book,
oh
like
my
movies that
god.
no one saw. Like they were
Yeah,
picking movies that nobody watched as the best picture. It was like, what are we doing? And then at least some of the other nominations, like this year with The Secret Agent, it's like, okay, that's like one of the best movies of the 2020s, and you're giving it this recognition. You give it a Best Actor nomination. It's like that's fucking awesome. That's literally one of the best movies of the year, and you're giving it its flowers. I think that's awesome. That makes me less angry if they give goofy awards here and there.
yeah. They're slowly adding more and more like foreign entries every year, so I'm down for that.
Yeah, I think they're also just acknowledging that. I mean, because the whole idea with Hollywood is they're upset. Like one of the big ideas is they're obsessed with diversity, which I don't think is an issue. I think it's an incredible strength of cinema is diversity. But the issue is that American cinema is kind of languishing in the 21st century compared to the 20th century. Like American cinema, Paul Thomas Anderson's class of filmmakers is way deeper than Josh Safdie's, I mean, if
Yeah,
Josh Safdie is the best director of his generation, it's like that's quite a step down from Paul Thomas Anderson and, like Richard Linklater. Like those are really that's completely they were talking about a completely different level. And I don't know, I feel like the Oscars, they've matured in a way where they realize that if you really are going to say you believe in diversity, give movies with subtitles awards, because what me and you have always known, and it's just abundantly clear if you're really obsessed with watching great films, is you got to watch movies from all over the world. Like I don't watch an American film to see Asian people, black people, French people. I don't watch an American film. I watch an American film. I go, oh, this is an American film. If it happens to be diverse because the casting is right or something, or you kind of get what I'm saying. It's like, okay, that's cool.
yeah,
That
yeah,
works,
yeah.
But then if I want to see a movie with Asian people, I will watch films from South Korea. I will watch Japanese films, you know, which is, I think that's the way to do it. And in the case of like these Oscar nominations, like I'm not going to say that that Hollywood doesn't represent Brazilians, you know what I mean? I'm going to watch the Filio film. Like I'm going to watch the
Yeah.
movie that wins best actor at Cannes. I'm not going to criticize American films for not being international cinema. I'm just going to go to the international cinema because, you know, American cinema is legendary, but the whole world is a big place. And, you know, I'd have to look at, I've been ranking, you know, my favorite films of the year for a long time. And I got to be honest, I don't know how often I've ever even picked an American film as the best film of the year. I think pretty much every year I pick a foreign film as the best film of the year. I think I don't even remember like a year where I didn't do that. Like in the last like 10 years. I mean, I'd have to go back and look through all my lists, but that's kind of like a hint at a lot more how my list kind of broke down. But okay, yeah. So basically I got a list that I've been working on and I got 17 movies on it, but I just was kind of like, because there's a lot of movies I like really liked, and I usually really love movies in general. And I think between the rankings of like 10 and 17 are extremely interchangeable, and I have a hard time picking the rankings between that, if that makes sense. They're all kind of
Yeah, for sure.
similarly good. So I feel like right around number 9 is where it's like clear. So what I was gonna say is I actually saw Sound of Falling last week. You know, when everyone is saying it's like a winter apocalypse and stuff. And I went
It's
and it was like negative 10 degrees, and the theater actually was kind of cold, which I did not like.
oh my gosh.
But I saw Sound of Falling, and it was pretty amazing. I was watching it, and it was like maybe 30 minutes, an hour in. I was a little bit like, okay, this is, I don't want to say predictable, but there was a level to it where I was like, okay, there's still a lot left in this movie. Like, I don't know if this is actually going to be as good as my expectations. And then the second half was pretty amazing. And I kind of was like, okay, this is like what international cinema is about. So I'll say that that's like that's an honorable mention. And then I talked about it for when I kind of talked about Chicago Film Festival. Another honorable mention, I'll say, just because this film, and yeah, what I was going to say before I go on to my other honorable mention, the weird place I'm at with Sound of Falling is I technically just saw it like a couple days ago. So I could count it for 2026 just because I saw it so late, you know?
Right.
Even though it won a prize at Cannes in 2025. And if I saw it at Chicago Film Festival, I probably would count it for 2025. But I'm kind of on the fence if I want to put that at like number 10 for this year for 2025, or if I want to like have it on the 2026 like list. So I'm still kind of undecided. So I'll say it's an honorable mention. It's amazing. Female filmmaker, German filmmaker. The cinematography is unbelievable. Super haunting film about like all these different German families living in this house over like decades. So it's like it's like all these cuts like back and forth through time. And it's pretty amazing, pretty haunting. And it really is one of those movies that got better as it went on. But the other honorable mention I'll have is the film I saw at Chicago Film Festival. I'll say it as an honorable mention just because even if I'm telling people the movie's great, I don't know how anyone can see it because I don't know if it has distribution or anything. Is this movie My Father and Gaddafi that I think I told you about?
Right.
Unbelievable documentary about this woman's dad being kidnapped by Gaddafi in like the 90s. And it's crazy. It's like almost like an essay film on Libya, on like the history of Libya in the 20th century. And it builds all the way up until like she's literally going back to Libya, and you see footage after like the Libyan civil war has taken place and everything's in rubble. And you're just like, oh my God. This is like the type of film that I really think is one of the best of the year, but no one's going to be able to see it. So it's not really even, it's again, that's like one of those films that it's pretty much firmly in the top 10 range. But again, yeah, number 9 I had to put The
Oh
Mastermind.
wow, okay.
And, oh, yeah, by the way, yeah, My Father and Gaddafi, also female filmmaker. So 3 female filmmakers in a row that I'm bringing up. Sound of Falling, My Father and Gaddafi, and The Mastermind. Nobody talked about The Mastermind. I have friends
Damn.
that said they were really looking forward to the movie, and nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. Nobody talked about it. Makes no sense. The movie's amazing. Kind of similar feeling I had with that and Sound of Falling, where through the movie, I was almost like, is this going to get there? Is this really going to, like, is this going to turn another gear? And then the ending and the second
Yeah.
half of those films were so incredible that I was like, this is special. Like, The Mastermind is really worth seeing. I loved it. I would love to rewatch it. It's just it's a casual heist movie is what makes it great. And I think about it more when no one says anything about it. You know, the fact that
Yeah.
no one has mentioned it makes me like want to recognize it more. But it's not good enough where it's like really competing for the best film of the year, but it's firmly in the conversation as far as like one of the better films from 2025. And then I got Shifty. I had to put the Adam Curtis, even though it's maybe technically TV, but
Yeah.
Shifty, the series, really mind bending, but also cutting political, like found footage movie. Classic Adam Curtis. I mean, I'd call it a masterpiece. You know, I have zero criticisms of it. I would say there are 8 movies from 2025 that I would definitely call masterpieces.
Wow.
Meaning, I like gave them 5 stars on Letterboxd. You know, but also kind of meaning that, yeah, these are legitimately like, this is like the cutting edge of filmmaking in my opinion. But no, Shifty is amazing. There's like I'm blanking. If anyone wants to hear our conversation on it, I remember enjoying our episode we did on Shifty. It's been a minute. I'm kind of blanking on the exact details, but it's kind of vintage Adam Curtis, even though there's no voiceover, I believe, is the only weird thing.
Right.
But yeah, I got that at 8, and then I got The Shrouds, David Cronenberg.
Oh.
David Cronenberg, The Shrouds at number 7. One of the
Wow.
greatest films I've ever seen about grief and technology. That is another film that nobody's talking about, even though it's in. I mean, David Cronenberg, an all-time great. Honestly, it's potentially the best David Cronenberg film I've ever seen. I
Damn.
don't know. That film is like really on the cutting edge of everything he wants to do, and it's about his wife that just died, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
And like, that's pretty much how masterpieces are made as far as I'm concerned. When the greatest artists experience debilitating trauma and then they make a work of art about it, I mean, come on. That's pretty untouchable as far as like, because, you know, Crimes of the Future, I remember really loving, but it had a weird enough vibe to it that I couldn't like interpret it. I still loved it, but I didn't step away from that going, that's like the best Cronenberg ever, if that makes sense, even though I still
Right.
loved it. And it was also vintage Cronenberg, but the Shrouds I was like floored by. Uh, Another film from 2025, Caught by the Tides, the Chinese film
Ah.
by Jia Zhangke, total masterpiece spanning decades. Jia Zhangke, one of the best filmmakers in the world, unbelievably unique filmmaker that plays around with genre. The movie almost it plays around with being a documentary and then being a science fiction film at times. It is absolutely moving, stunning, one of one. Gia Janka is untouchable. There's all these different formats. It was like all this footage was shot over the course of his entire career. And I think it's like I think he made it out of like B-roll almost. Like it was like alternative footage that he didn't use in other
Whoa.
movies. And he just made a completely new movie with like all this footage. So he has this lead actress that he's worked with for years. He has her like photographed over decades, so you see her like age through the movie, and you see other characters similar to like a Boyhood kind of thing. You know, you actually see the
Huh.
characters age to the point where the end of the movie is set during like COVID.
Oh my god.
Absolute epic, undeniable masterpiece. Again, 2025 has been an incredible year. Number 5, got to do One Battle After Another, which is
Wow.
the best American film of the year, kind of
Ah,
by far as well. And again, this is kind of subjective. I would not mind having One Battle a little bit further up the list or not. It just some of this just gets a little political by the time you start making the list, you know? Like if you're going to go to
sure.
war and say, "Oh, do you think One Battle is worse than 4 other movies?" It's like, "Okay, well, I'm going to rewatch it more than these other ones. It's going to be so much easier to rewatch and Paul Thomas Anderson is a king, but you'll see some of these people are also kings, but we already did a full episode on that. Goes without saying. I thought it was I love Paul Thomas Anderson becoming more accessible over his career. And I think him doing like a chase movie was something really special. And I feel like people talking about the politics of the film don't really like understand either side. Like I've heard right wing people talk shit about it, and I've heard people from the left wing say, "Oh, well, it's not radical enough." It's like, okay, guys, but that's not the point of the movie. The movie's not telling you to go be in the Weather Underground. Like if you see a movie starring Leo DiCaprio and you think that it's going to tell you your life is awesome, you know how Paul Thomas. So I brought this up when we a while ago, but there's this book Days of Rage, which is apparently about the Weather Underground that a lot of people read, and Paul Thomas Anderson actually brought this up in an interview. And he said what made the book so great was that you saw all these Weather Underground people after they were political radicals. And you saw them having a tough time settling into life
Yeah,
afterward. And it's like, guys, that's what Paul Thomas Anderson is interested in. That's what Pynchon is interested in Vineland. It's about a washed up hippie. That's the movie. That's the book. It's more about a father's relationship with his daughter. That's the center of the movie. It's not that we have to burn down the system because it's like what? But again, there still is a level of it that is very critical of contemporary American politics,
sure.
and specifically, the deportations and all that, and ICE. And I think the movie is very mature about it. It's not hysterical, but I think it's also like realistic. Like it still comes across in this way that I think that's one of the big reasons it's going to run away with the Oscars, because it's very rare you get a movie that is that, like, I don't want to say on the nose in like a bad way, but it touches like a nerve.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll talk more about that movie, I'm sure. And then I got Dry Leaf, which is another movie no one will watch, but
Damn.
it is a 3-hour movie shot on an old phone. And it is like out of focus, and the resolution is like 480p. And it's one of the most beautiful films ever made. It is the cutting edge of cinema. If anyone wants to see this director, his film, What We See When We Look at the Sky, Alexander Koberidze. If anyone wants to watch What Do We See When We Look at the Sky, guarantee every person that's seen it loves that movie. It is really accessible. That even though that's also almost 3 hours. He's a guy from Georgia, the country of Georgia, former satellite of the Soviet Union. Dry Leaf, I talked about it in one of our episodes. It's kind of something brand new in digital cinema. It's like kind of about the form, and the images are amazing. And I was really frustrated with it. Like an hour in, I was like, this movie has almost no plot. And then it was so radical and it was so like experimental that it just became magic. And
Mm.
if you really want to see something way out on the cutting edge of experimental film and avant-garde film, that's like, to me, that's like the most avant-garde movie of the year, the least accessible, towering masterpiece of the year. And in terms of pure innovation and doing something I've never seen before, that's why I put it ahead of One Battle After Another. But it's really hard to watch, so I don't know if I'll ever watch it more than I'll watch One Battle After Another. But I had to give respect to Koberidze for. I mean, it's pretty. It takes a lot. It takes a real genius to make a movie that like unique. And yeah, I was moved by it and inspired by it. But then I got number 3. I got Magellan, Lav
I
Diaz.
was wondering whether it was going to come up.
Yep. I'm hopefully going to see it again here soon. It's about to come out in Chicago again, but yeah, it goes without saying. There's not much more I can say about it. It's I wouldn't quite call it vintage Lav Diaz just because it's only 2 hours 40 minutes, and it's also in color. Very few of his films are in color. All his films are black and white for the most part. But it's also it is a masterpiece for sure, just because it's really violent. I think of all the films on my list, it's the most straightforward movie. It's just about Magellan. It's about the explorer, and it's extremely straightforward. But I think it's also incredibly like powerful and violent and disturbing and beautiful, and the cinematography is beautiful. And there are definitely long takes and stuff. And it's starring Gabriel Garcia Bernal, so it's going to be the most seen like Lav Diaz that he's ever made, the biggest star to ever star in any of his movies. And yeah, I mean, again, it's like 2025. You got Paul Thomas Anderson and Lav Diaz both making movies. It's like that's one of the greatest years in the history of film. you know, that's pretty untouchable. And I don't know, it's a great film about like colonialism, but on top of that, history. I love great films about history, and it pretty shocking ending. And yeah, number two, I got The Secret Agent, which I was
Ah,
really floored by. The Secret Agent, when I saw it, I really, because again, there's a lot of like unbelievable films this year. I you know have really been looking forward to the Lav Diaz and the Paul Thomas Anderson film so much. And I really would say that The Secret Agent is very similar to One Battle After Another, like we talked about in the episode we did. But I
yep.
kind of think it did the One Battle. I mean, again, it's not exactly the same movie, and I think both are instant classics. But if you had to really just like put a gun to my
Oh
head,
gosh.
I kind of do. I kind of do think The Secret Agent,
Yeah.
like my experience with it and like the subtlety of it, and the way I would describe it is that's the best film that director's ever made, right? I've
All
seen
right.
I watched another one of his movies that I thought I loved. It was amazing. It kind of felt like a John Carpenter movie, this movie Bacurau,
Hmm.
which was great. And then I had seen another one of his films years ago, but this really is like his moment. Like you can tell there's that thing in film where if someone makes the best thing they've ever made, I feel like that kind of pushes it over the top. I don't think One Battle After Another is the best Paul Thomas Anderson movie, right? If we're talking
Hmm.
about The Master or Inherent Vice, those are 2 years where I had an American film as the best movie of the year. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's a different conversation. That's like, I mean, those movies are better than The Secret Agent, but because it's partially like this moment in a career where you can feel them at their most inspired, right? And you could feel PTA inspired for One Battle, but it is a little bit more of an accessible PTA,
Oh,
which
for
I don't think
sure.
means it's worse. I just think in terms of the cutting edge of cinema form, if I'm like really assessing like what do I see as like what cinema should be and all these kinds of things, and what do I think is like the most inspiring and mind melting and all that, and just a mix of emotions and like just the individual, like when you're in a screening and you're like, oh my god, this is unbelievable. And some of these films, again, you have more of a visceral reaction with some of them, but I really was shocked by how good The Secret Agent was, the accumulation of faces. And I loved like a kind of a documentary feel and like just the incredible cast. And oh my god, I really love that movie. Hope Mora wins best actor. But yep, and then I got Resurrection number one, which has
There it is.
kind of been my number one since I saw it, and I ended up seeing it again. And Untouchable, yeah, I don't know. Looking at this list, there's some really good films on this list. Resurrection is, I mean, in terms of just the filmmaking skill and like, there's something about film that is impossible to do, and that is to create a sense of awe, to have an audience really be like, oh my god, like just your jaw is open, your your brain is on fire, you can't believe that something has happened. You can't understand how something was filmed. That is Resurrection, and it is full of like metaphors and symbolism about like dreams and stuff. And it's the type of film that I think if any other filmmaker tried to make it, it might not be good. But it's Begon, and he's the most talented filmmaker of his generation, arguably. I mean, he really broke out with Kali Blues 10 years ago, and since then it's been Kali Blues, A Long Day's Journey into Night, and now Resurrection. I mean, he's like three just unbelievable masterpieces in a row. So I cannot hype Resurrection enough. I went with Joe the second time I saw it, and we were like floating out of the theater. He was like he literally, I could just tell that was like the best movie I've ever told him. That's the best foreign film, and it's also a Chinese movie. Which, if you really want to be interested in international cinema, I mean, Chinese film is really something special. I mean, Be Gone is definitely influenced by Jia Zhangke, who I brought up earlier. Be Gone is kind of like the next wave of like the Jia Zhangke, like genreless, mind melting, and just like the filmmaking skill is like over the top. Like Orson Welles, like there's like he does like there's a moment where he recreates the scene, like the Hall of Mirrors scene from like The Lady from Shanghai. It's like a person just shooting at these mirrors, and you're like, he's just effortlessly doing. There's a silent film sequence to start the movie with this like deliriance. So the Resurrection is about this creature called a deliriance that it's in a world where nobody dreams, but the deliriant can dream. But every dream it has, it like kills itself in the present. I'm pretty sure. So this thing is like decaying and burning and like dying. And then this woman is like helping it. So it goes through all these different dreams. And so by doing that, it goes through all these different eras of film history almost. So it starts as like a silent film, and she's feeding it flowers, and then she's feeding flowers into its back. It feels like a Jodorowsky movie at times.
Wow.
And then there's like a noir sequence after that, and then there's like a Tibetan monk, like kind of ethereal sequence, and then there's like a, you know, oh my god, there's another part. I don't even want to spoil every aspect of the movie. And then what Be Gone is known for is he always ends his movie with like a spectacular long shot. So Kali Blues ends with an hour tracking shot through this village, and it's like a no budget movie, and your jaw is like on the floor, like, I can't believe in this kind of like Tarkovsky inspired movie you just get this insane epic long shot. Long Day's Journey into Night ends with an hour long 3D tracking shot. It's a tracking shot that was in 3D. So then he does the same thing again. It's not quite an hour, but it's like a 30 to 40-minute tracking shot at the end of the movie, and it's like set during the Chinese New Year. And it's like the most spectacular cinematography you'll ever see in your life. I mean, if that doesn't sell it, I mean, I don't want to say I spoiled the whole movie. I didn't spoil. It's one of those movies you can't spoil. Like, the experience of it is so visceral, and you're. I mean, I'm telling you, it is. Oh my god, I couldn't. I almost would like to have someone on the podcast that's like seen it, so I could like talk about like the different scenes. I kind of feel bad, but yeah, those are my best films of the year. Amazing year for 2025. Good night, everyone. No, just kidding. So, what about you, Austin?
I have 5. I have The Shrouds.
Oh, hell yeah.
I fucking and there's a lot of I guess you can say films on this list. Well, films on this small list that basically it kind of the ending made it even better.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I also got this on Criterion already for Christmas.
Ooh, I would love to rewatch that. I'm telling you, man, that's a special movie. The Shrouds is, I mean, that was something else. That was like,
I love Diane Kruger playing multiple roles. It's like my favorite
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
especially in like the year that it says 2024, but I've seen it on people's lists for 25.
Oh no, no one saw it in 24. It like didn't have
Right.
like any. It didn't have any distribution.
Also saw it on the best list of the Ringer podcast, one of the guys they had on there.
Oh, okay,
That's kind of like my favorite like mainstream podcast about movies because it's got like the Bill Simmons connection. I think he's hilarious.
he's on that podcast.
For some of them, yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that. Yeah, because I saw him talk to Josh Safdie in the cast in an interview for Marty Supreme.
But yeah, number five is the Shrouds. That's interesting. You said best Cronenberg. I might have to agree with that. It just sounds weird saying that, like his most recent, because he's been making movies forever. That you go, wait, what?
Yeah, I ideologically like late style, and
Mm.
I think I couldn't disagree with Tarantino more on any topic than that when he says like directors get
Oh,
old and stuff.
yeah,
It's just
their later movies just aren't good. I don't want to. It's like
no,
what?
it's crazy. There's like so many filmmakers that got way better, but
Also,
I
the
like
guy reviewing it on that podcast said, "I love this movie so much because at any moment it just seems like it's going to be a bad movie, and it just never is." And I thought that was such an interesting way.
yeah, I don't know. That's a weird. I don't know if I
He was
agree
like,
with that.
I was expecting it to just fall apart, and it never did." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Uh, love Guy Pearce.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, the movie's also like funny. I think looking at these, like all these have some aspect of comedy. Um, Number four, I got The Mastermind.
Oh hell yeah,
I want to see that again because I feel like,
that had one of the best endings of any film of like
yeah,
recent years.
yeah, it was. Jeez. Um,
I feel
I
like that was one of
yeah.
my favorite of all the episodes. I mean, we're kind of running out of time. Maybe we could rank. I mean, I don't know. It'd be hard to like pick like ourselves what our best like podcast episodes this year were. We did a range of stuff. It's hard to pick, but I feel like that was one of my more like surprisingly like favorite episodes we did, just because it felt like the more we talked about the movie, because again, there are certain movies that you can talk about like one battle after another. We knew all year that was going to be like one of our best
Of
episodes.
course,
And same thing when me, Sean, and Ben did the Shadow Ticket episode. It's like kind of obvious that there's gonna be a lot to talk about. But
sure.
the Mastermind is like just such a pleasure because that's the movie that of all the podcasts we did, that's the one that when we were having the conversation, I genuinely feel like I was liking the movie way more because
Yeah,
I went in liking it, but then our conversation, like it's like such a crazy great movie to talk about. Like, and I feel like that with the Shrouds as well. Our conversation made me like it, but the Mastermind especially had like it's a little bit complex. There's something about it that like really cries out for interpretation. Like it's a little abstract almost.
yeah.
And it's almost like
Freaking
literary. It's like a great character study. I feel like a movie like The Master, right? It's like the ultimate movie that's just about the characters and like studying them.
right.
And it's like so abstract in that way because you're like, what is that even about? It's like about the people. It's like kind of the mastermind is like, how can you describe this guy?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's also really sad. It's like a really
Yeah.
sad movie too.
And just super understated. And like, I saw it with a pretty
Mm,
solid amount of people in the audience. And I assumed going in there were going to be a lot of laugh out loud parts, and there just weren't. It's like
right.
kind of like muted laughs, and it is a funny movie, but like it's like kind of this understated thing that
Yeah, kind of like restraint too.
Yeah, which really made me appreciate Kelly Reichardt even more. I think
It's like
she's very
if somebody
talented.
else made that movie, it would have totally sucked. Kind
Yeah,
of
I
like
mean, imagine.
similar with Inherent Vice. That's it. Kind of like
Yeah,
makes me think about that. How in anyone else's hands and be like,
yeah, imagine like Wes Anderson just doing the most annoying.
no, I can see that. Like, there's like weird quirkiness to it, kind of where like people almost like even with the kids don't even act like the fucking kid. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it's just done by way more interesting. Anyway, what was that? Three. I got one battle. I have to have one battle on my list.
yup.
Not. What else do you even say about it other than uh might
Finally, PTA's moment.
controversial
Finally,
take might be my favorite Leo performance. Now that I've gotten to see it
okay.
a lot more times. Uh,
Respect.
yeah, because it's like I like him way more in this than people are comparing it to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I like his performance way more in this. I think it's way more nuanced.
Interesting. Yeah, because I did rewatch that one this year too, and I thought he was. I thought that movie was way better on a rewatch than the first time I saw it. But
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
yeah,
I
there
agree.
there are similarities in the performance. I don't know. It's hard for me to say off the top of my head what I think is better. I think this one, seeing it with an audience, he was so funny in the screenings I was in. He had like
Yeah,
some
he
incredible.
that freaking like it's very similar to Inherent Vice. That like slow pushing when he's like, "Don't get fucking paranoid, man." I just that's like one of my favorite acted scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah,
He's
it
just
is. It
like
really does feel like
yeah.
Doc. It does feel like a washed up version of Doc, like 20 years later.
Number two, Shifty. That
Oh
every
wow.
episode I watched was like smoking pot without smoking pot. I mean, that's a dumb way to say it, but I love it. I
Yeah, I
love
mean,
that.
people. Adam Curtis. It's so interesting because he's such a legend that we were even talking. I was even talking with Eamon and Nico, where it's like we could just do like an Adam Curtis episode and just jump around his career, or just do
Mhm.
any of his other films because he has such a monster career. And I mean, it's like this. You learn so much about history, and I feel like he's so
Yeah.
truthful, and you learn so much about people, but he's so cutting about history and politics. And then there's like a footage of like a UFO in Shifty, like out of nowhere.
I remember you bringing that up. You're
Mummy,
like,
there's a UFO, mummy.
you're like, oh my god, do you remember this part? And I was just like, yes, yes. Um, you know the Bucks Fizz song, the Land of Make Believe song.
Oh yeah, I think so.
I think it's at the end of episode one. Oh yeah, the Land of Make Believe, episode one. I listened to that song by itself. It sucks. It's like the most annoying. I hate it. But like the hour or I forget how long. Are they about like an hour or two? The episodes.
Yeah, wasn't it like four? It was like 5 1 hour episodes or something like that. Or
Yeah, yeah. By the end of it, going through that hour, that song hit so much different.
yeah,
I mean, it was obviously being twisted in a certain way that was interesting, but yeah, I like Shifty a lot. I don't know if I would like revisit it, but definitely like,
well, if you want to see something, it's kind of like the British Trauma Zone. He made this series, the Trauma Zone, as
oh
well,
right,
which is about the collapse of the Soviet Union. And
incredible.
it similarly doesn't have any of the vintage Adam Curtis voiceover.
Mm,
Hypernormalization as well has aged so well. So well. The way I'll pitch Adam Curtis, so we can talk about Adam Curtis for fucking 24 hours straight.
yeah.
I wrote back at Columbia, I had like a whole thing where I like, I did like an independent project where I like wrote a paper on Adam Curtis, and I really just went into like his influences and stuff. And I just think he has the right artistic mindset to like make stuff that's really like relevant, which is basically
Mm,
that you're making something and then the main characters are like the most famous people who have ever lived. It's almost like
Yeah.
Andy Warhol at that point because it's like, the main characters of hypernormalization are like Donald Trump, Muammar Gaddafi, like, and then it's like then Margaret Thatcher is like a big role in like multiple of his films,
Yeah.
and the way he does it, where he doesn't just like do propaganda for world leaders, like, and he also is like extremely truthful. So like he doesn't come across as like overly critical of Trump, but then at the same time he's kind of like showing how like this like economic issues from like the 70s kind of led to Trump's rise. And it like hypernormalization starts where it's like Damascus 1975, and then he's like New York City 1975, and he's like and there was one man who believed he could get a tax break to build apartments for wealthy people. That man's name was Donald Trump. And then it cuts to Damascus, and it's Bashar al-Assad's dad, like like angry at Henry Kissinger. It's like, okay, come on, that's like the pinnacle of art. That's like, you gotta. History is more interesting, and it's more layered than fiction. You just can't even make up this shit. You can't even make up how power politics have like played out, and also just the collapse of our societies, and like Shifty is
Right.
like a perfect, because it's kind of like Trauma Zone is like to the max, like you're seeing a society collapse. It's ugly. It's like a full on, like, I don't know how World War III didn't break out in the 90s. Like
Wow.
the Soviet Union collapsing is literally like the same thing as like Weimar Republic Germany. It's like literally the same exact thing. Like as far as like hyperinflation, kind of gangster cronyism that buys up the whole like all the markets, and then a dictator rises from the ashes and, wrangles everybody.
Oh,
So
God.
so Trauma Zone ends with Putin like taking power. That's like the end of the series.
Jesus Christ.
And he sets it up perfectly where you're like, yeah, of course Putin would rise to power. He was the only guy that could like smack the oligarchs around and put them in their place. And Shifty is kind of like a nicer version of that because England didn't collapse in as spectacular of a way, but their empire is
Right.
completely gone. I mean, it's more just like a mundane collapse, It's like a collapse
Yeah.
of their integrity and the spirit. I mean, the English are just they're borderline irrelevant in the 21st century. No, I shouldn't say that. That was actually our most listened to episode on Spotify and or whatever, Apple Podcasts, like the stuff that isn't YouTube. Isn't that
Right.
random? By like 5 times.
That's
Like
crazy because, yeah.
so I don't want to insult our English listeners, but you gotta get like a Napoleon or something and get your shit together.
Figure it out.
Nah, I'm just joking.
Do you want to guess what my number one is?
Um, is it Begonia?
No.
Oh wow. Is it a movie that we did a podcast on?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the only other thing I would guess is Eddington.
It is not Eddington.
Okay, what is it?
It is The Secret Agent.
Oh, nice. I didn't expect that actually.
Yeah, the more I've like thought about it, the more I was like, damn, I really love that movie. It's kind of like reminds me of like Altman almost.
Yeah, there's a
But
little bit of that, honestly. Like the zoom ins and stuff, and the music is definitely very Altman.
and the freaking
La la
I
la
mean,
la la.
Michael B. Jordan like can go kick rocks because Wagner Moura plays three characters, kinda.
No, well,
He
yeah,
plays
well,
two, but
yeah, no, Wagner Moura,
I
unbelievable performance, but yeah,
I voted for him on my Gold Derby page. I have like a Gold Derby page, and they do their film awards where they have their members vote, and I voted for Secret Agent for like everything, and then like all the technical stuff I just gave to one battle. It was kind of funny.
yeah. So I don't want this to sound crass and dark, but
Oh,
if when I say that, it's like, oh shit, we're about to like get banned off of YouTube. No, uh, if the Safdie brothers controversy negatively impacts Marty Supreme to the degree that Timothy Chalamet does not win Best Actor and Wagner Moura does,
right.
I think that would be good. Though I wish the incident never happened. And I hate that that
Okay.
happened. It's what I read was pretty crazy and disgusting. And frankly, at the end of the day, guys, you're gonna put a heroin addict in a sex scene.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect is gonna happen? Like, what do you expect? Like, the dude was
What?
like he was like a bank robber or
It's like
something. He's
getting
like,
having a picnic at the beach. You get pissed when the seagulls show up. You know what I'm saying? That's a
I don't
quote.
know.
I can't take credit for that, but
I
dude,
like I like the softies, but Josh Softy definitely has a vibe to him where you're like, are you? I don't know what to say. It's almost like it's like that anecdote about him making Timothy Chalamet wear those glasses with contacts in, and
yeah,
it actually it actually like Timothy Chalamet like developed an eye infection. It's like that does make me think that maybe
that's
he's
why he
like,
was crying at the end of the movie.
is that true?
No, I'm just being ridiculous.
No, I mean genuinely, it just seems like he's like almost overcompensating. Like it almost seems like he is such a talented director, but then there are these little things where, and again, I mean, I'm not the one to go through the history of cinema and say these people are angels. Like some of our great filmmaking idols. I mean, Alfred Hitchcock is like one of the greatest artists to ever live, and he just psychologically tortured and abused everyone. Like, I don't think that
Yeah,
behavior is excusable. He's a better director than the Safdie brothers, I'll say. But, I'm not going to scold the Safdie brothers for whatever. I don't know everything about like their methods, but like I said, the story I read, I don't actually know if I got the details right, but it's a pretty bad
but
mistake. Like
geez, man.
I would be surprised if there isn't some kind of like actual huge falling out now after that came out. Like I don't know what that would mean. I don't know if Josh Softy would have a harder time making films, but
Yeah.
it does seem like it's going to hurt Marty Supreme. But maybe not. I mean, I thought there was like weird kind of controversies that were even more like fake with Amelia Perez, and I feel like that's still won
Yeah.
like some Oscars,
Or
even though one of
the
the
Casey
actresses,
Affleck Manchester by the Sea year.
yeah, like you can't police like. I mean, and that's not even the same movie. It's not even like something
Right. That was
happened
more like
on this
direct
movie.
though. Like the actor was getting like, you know, basically
Oh, you're talking about Manchester by the Sea?
yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't realize it was that movie that Casey Affleck was accused of crazy stuff.
Yup.
Oh wow, that's actually not good,
Well,
but
it's
still
interesting
a
though
great
cuz like
performance.
yeah, like it should affect the movie, but like Marty's like it looks like Timmy's like the only spot it can win, right? It
Yeah, unless it wins original script, which now I feel like they're not going to take it out on Timothy Chalamet as much as they take it out on Josh Safdie,
yeah.
probably. And I don't know, it's a weird thing. It's like it's not even. I mean, it's like
What would be amazing is if he won the Oscar and then he basically like talked down to Safdie.
talk down to
Like
Benny.
Like it was his own real life. No, Timothy Chalamet wins the best actor, and then he's like, the director's actually like a big dick.
Well,
This
that
is
would be
this is how
wild.
I win.
This is how I win.
That would be like the greatest thing ever. It's like so meta.
Yeah, I could see that as well. Because I don't know. I think that's like the charm of the Softy Brother thing is that their movies are about dirtbags and they're starring dirtbags. But, you know, it's an unfortunate situation. I feel like it's kind of
Yeah.
crazy to just bring up this story without all this like these details. There's not really much to say about it. It's like I wish it didn't happen. It's awful. I mean, I don't know what repercussions could even happen at that point. Like if Josh is going to have a hard time financing or people won't work with him. I don't know. It's unfortunate. He's probably just going to have to like apologize publicly about it. Is probably all I can think is going to happen with you know with that.
Mm.
But it's kind of bizarre though because I wasn't expecting that they actually split over like a real like issue. I thought they like kind of just decided to make their own movies, but
Right.
which is even more confusing because I'm pretty sure they've been like at each other's like premieres and stuff, so it doesn't seem like they're like on bad terms.
We'll have to see if anything plays out more or comes out about it.
Yeah, no, but no, I mean amazing, amazing year for film. I feel like I don't know. It's crazy. It's kind of crazy. We're here. I mean, I had thought we were gonna eventually do this episode, but kind of
I thought the
surreal to
sun was going to
finally.
explode by now, man.
Okay, I wasn't saying
2026 just sounds crazy.
I
It
was
just
I was
sounds
not
crazy, dude.
I was not saying that, but no, I mean like one battle after another in Magellan are like two movies that I've been looking forward to for a while. So it's kind of just surreal, just having a conversation so removed from them in a way, being like, yeah, I saw those. It's always kind of a I don't know, the path of just like seeing a ton of films all the time. You get to a certain point where this is kind of like the lull. Like we're gonna have like a couple of months of not much new coming out that's like worth seeing. But
Yeah.
we did it. Happy 2026. I guess last thing I'll say is just we're gonna we're gonna do a Bellatar episode at some point in the next
Oh,
couple of
for
weeks
sure.
before we do the Oscar episode because he's one of the all-time great directors and he just passed away and we got to give him his flowers. But R.I.P. Bellatar. He would never have gotten nominated for an Oscar or gotten close, and that's also what makes him so much better than all of
Mm,
us.
mm.
And Paul Thomas Anderson, even though he's an American director, is one of the greatest directors of all time. And if he wins the Oscars this year, I might cry like a baby.
That's so beautiful. That's just so
Okay.
good. That was great.
Well, we'll see you later, everybody.
Bye.